up, you wonderful motherfuckers? Because that's in no way an awkward way to start a conversation that no one does in reality, except for obnoxious dipshits. It's been a while, hasn't it? Yes, it most certainly has. Apart from the 2 music-related videos that I've uploaded to this channel in the last week. Videos whose content type you should expect to see as the majority of content that'll be uploaded to this channel from now on. Aside from the occasional video like this. As a lot of you know, ranting really isn't at the forefront of my mind anymore. I've gone on to do more constructive things with my time than beat every dead horse in the dead horse graveyard, but every so often there comes along a subject that warrants special attention. Like this ugly, emaciated, whatever the fuck this is. Oh, you gotta take special attention to somebody that utilizes his system of thought created by only himself as a means to gain money from the disposable incomes of adolescents going through their edgy nobody understands me phase in order to poison their mind with his bullshit. Oh man, why is this website such a platform for these types of people? It's not like they're transparent. No. It's just simple to see through their bullshit as if it were transparent as a window with no fucking glass in it. And that's where assholes like me come along. Because it takes an asshole to call out an asshole. So, let's go ream this asshole, shall we? Alright.
We recently released a video about scientific materialism.
You recently released a video, as of a year ago, about scientific materialism. Stop saying we! Nobody buys this idea that you have a massive infrastructure of people working at some waterfront building like PETA, because totes nonprofit, yo, who are staffed round the clock to keep this shit going. It's just you, a mid-tier DSLR camera, a poorly set up ring light, and an internet connection. Speaking of all that, why the fuck is it I get better video quality and more stable lighting that doesn't make me look like a methadone addict was exhumed from an early grave and then propped up against a wall with an elaborate set of trusses to be painted up with their mother's makeup kit they found digging around in a vanity for an hour, than you do, with a professional-grade camera and lighting. And if you don't believe me, look at this pro shit we got working around here. Ooh! Ooh! And still, I look like a human fucking being. I'm a human! 3 seconds in, I'm this heated. This is going to be a great video for you guys. I hope you enjoy it. Looks like Christmas came early this year.
In which we show that it's actually a dogmatic belief system that...
You did not show that. What you did do is get fucked clear in the ass by Count Jacula, the amazing atheist, myself, and many other people who know more about what you're talking about than you do. And yes, every frame of this video is a thumbnail. Damn! I need some coffee. I'm gonna enjoy my fucking coffee. I'm gonna finish my coffee.
Can never reach the fundamental nature of reality.
What? Science is the tool that human beings have used to understand the fundamental nature of our reality! What kind of meth are you smoking? Holy shit!
We absolutely stand by this statement.
Good to know. You know who else might believe their own bullshit delusions? Anyone at your local psych ward. You should walk down there and hang out with them for a while, because I'm sure you'd fit right the fuck in.
But reading through the comments and responses, it's clear that a large number of you have completely misunderstood our points.
Oh, well, I'm glad I misunderstood the points of somebody that stated their points with the tone of absolute certainty, absolutism, and condescending superiority. It's not like people who talk like that are just giant dicks who want everyone to take them seriously without knowing a single fucking thing about what they're talking about. Sort of making me sound like a hypocrite here. See what you've done to me!
So, we're going to clarify some of the major misunderstandings right now.
Of course, because the people ripping your butthole to shreds in the comments totes don't know what the fuck they're talking about. How could they? They're not Hyperions. people that follow a belief system created by you and no other person. Because those are ideologies you totally want to follow. Ooh, intro. Ugh.
Now, we don't have time to address every misunderstanding in a single video.
Why? You don't have a time limit on YouTube. There's no timer in the corner counting down for some arbitrary fucking goddamn limit that you have to goddamn make your points in. There are people that make videos on here that blather about nothing for hours and hours and hours at a time. Stop looking at me like that.
But we'll get to them in a future release. For now, let's address a couple of the major ones.
Oh, let's.
Let's begin by being absolutely clear that we are not against all science. We are against bad science.
Oh, okay, so even though you made a video stating that science is the dogmatic religion, and you made that fucking statement at the beginning of this video, I'm glad that there's that distinction in there that in no way contradicts the entire point of saying that you believe that science is a dogmatic religion. My head is going to tear itself in two by the end of this video.
We are for scientific rationalism, while we are opposed to empiricist scientific materialism.
What? So empirical data that's been gained through observing, repeating, and conducting experiments on things to come to these conclusions is bullshit? But seeing one instance of something and taking that as the entirety of it at face value is fine? And that's not a sort of absolutist empiricism in itself? What?
We are opposed to it because it's incomplete. Scientific materialism is the current prevailing paradigm. And when the average person thinks of science, they are almost always thinking about scientific materialism.
Because what other type of science is there besides things that you can materially touch, experience, understand, kinetically? Why would it concern itself with anything outside of that if you're not talking about quantum science?
When we say that we're against scientific materialism, that doesn't mean that we don't think it's useful or that it's given us many great advancements.
Oh, okay, so you can just sit there and say it's a dogmatic fucking religion and then utilize the discoveries that have been made through it. Even though it's a dogmatic religion, that makes no fucking sense. That makes no sense. I'm glad that this thing is a useful fucking tool, and it's given us so many advancements, like the ability to have technology that allows you to spread this peddly bullshit to the masses. But it's still wrong. Even though it works, it's wrong? What?
It has. I'm filming a video right now due to the advancements of scientific materialism.
Then how the fuck is it a dogmatic religion?
Great. What we mean is that it's incomplete, that it contains fundamental ontological...
Of course it's fucking incomplete. You're never going to meet any living being ever that's going to understand everything there is to understand about the nature of reality because it's just too goddamn vast to understand. It's nothing but a gigantic what if, dude. Why is it so hard for you to grasp? What if you did understand all there is to understand about the nature of reality, and it was really something mundane? Like, say, cheeseburgers were the nature for reality. Reality had to exist so that cheeseburgers could exist. Something stupid like that. Wouldn't you feel stupid? All this knowledge for fundamentally nothing. Some questions are better remained unanswered. It's kind of the mystique to life, is it not? And science doesn't really give a fuck about these sort of things. It doesn't really concern itself at all with this. So, I really only have to say at this point, who cares?
Logical and epistemological errors, and due to its incompletion, it cannot get to the underlying non-physical aspect of reality.
Okay, well, you know what? Science, even in that regard, is still going to be incomplete because science is always going to be in a constant state of advancement forever. Ever. Forever. You're never going to understand everything that there is to understand. Once you understand one thing, okay, well, why does it work this way? Okay, well, we understand. Well, why does that work the way that it does? And then that work, and then that work. It spirals into infinity. Are you suggesting that people have the perception of reality that equates to the understanding of a god? Is that what you're saying? Because that just sounds stupid.
Now, scientific materialism states that ultimately everything in existence is composed of matter or is a result of matter.
Yeah, why wouldn't it be? Oh, God. Good God.
This is blatantly false. The materialist worldview has failed.
Okay, well, if things aren't made of matter, then this is just going to phase right through my desk when I drop it on the desk. Ah, looks like it's made of matter because it didn't phase through my desk, because things are made of matter. Matter that exists in 4 different states: solid, liquid, gas, and plasma. Get a 6th grader's textbook on science, dipshit. Things are made of matter. They are. Let's just keep going. My head is going to explode. There's going to be like scanners, and I'm just going to go and...
It cannot account for the effects of quantum mechanics. The world at large...
Just because quantum mechanics exists does not mean that classical mechanics is wrong. Get this through your eyebrowless, thick fucking skull. You make this argument in every fucking video you do, and it's the most retarded thing I've ever heard in my life. He makes the argument that because quantum mechanics is now at the forefront of science's study and understanding, it's somehow disproven classical mechanics. No! That is blatantly false. It hasn't done that! It's made us understand how classical mechanics works on the quantum level. Can you take your fucking fried, bleach blonded hair and wrap it around that fucking concept? And then somehow, like, pull it into your brain? So, like, the fucked neurological structure of your mind can grip this information and let it sink in that you're wrong, shithead? Giving people the impression that somehow classical mechanics was defeated by quantum mechanics is insane. It's stupid. It's retarded. And you fucking know that it's retarded because anybody who understands how the two completely correlate and relate to one another directly is going to say the same fucking thing that I'm saying. Saying one defeated the other is retarded. No, neither one defeated each other. In fact, they've kind of made us understand how both work in tandem. Anyway, moving the fuck along. Otherwise, I'm going to repeat the same shit over and over and over.
Simply has not realized this, and they're stuck in the mindset of a failed, outdated paradigm.
Oh, okay, the material world is a failed, outdated fucking paradigm, even though everything around us is made of fucking matter. Right, okay, and do you live in the goo world of fucking nanites or whatever? The gray goo universe? Jesus.
You do not live in a material universe.
Oh, okay, prove it!
I want you to listen very closely to these quotes by some of the founders of quantum mechanics.
Uh-huh.
Heisenberg is famous for the Heisenberg uncertainty principle, and in 1932 he won the Nobel Prize in Physics for the creation of quantum mechanics.
Okay, what have you won? Here's the fucking thing. This guy is a quantum scientist, the founder of quantum physics. Who the fuck are you? He won a Nobel Prize for his understanding of science, and what have you done? Gotten fucked in the ass by random dipshits like me on YouTube. God.
Heisenberg said, "The ontology of materialism rested upon the illusion that the kind of existence, the direct actuality of the world around us, can be extrapolated into the atomic range."
But that does not mean the material world does not exist. What he means is that the material world around you is built into its materialist nature by forces that are beyond the level of things like atoms and electrons, and it's just shit smaller and smaller and smaller. He's not saying the material world is fake.
This extrapolation, however, is impossible. Atoms are not things.
And he's not wrong. If anybody's misunderstanding, it's you. Misunderstanding what these fucking quotes you put in your videos are all about. It's pretty clear to me that you have no fucking idea what any of these people are talking about.
Max Planck, a pioneer of quantum mechanics,
and the most quoted person in your fucking videos since you cribbed your entire system of thought and philosophy from. Why can't these people be alive today to tell you to just shut the fuck up?
famous for Planck's constant, and whose discovery of quantization of energy won him the Nobel Prize in 1918, said, "As a man who has devoted his whole life to the most clear-headed science, to the study of matter, I can tell you as a result of my research about atoms this much. There is no matter as such."
Holy shit. He means that there's no other matter like atoms. Not that matter doesn't exist. You simpering retard!
The idea of matter, as classically conceptualized, is false.
Okay, well here's an experiment even a cretin like you can perform. Take your ugly eyebrowless face and smash it into the desk in front of you. That sting you're gonna feel is not just your nose breaking, it's gonna be your pride fucking with you and your ego fucking with you, as you are forced to realize that the universe and the third-dimensional reality you live in is made of solid materials. And if they weren't, your head would have just sailed right through the desk, and you wouldn't have broken your goddamn fucking face on it. Stupid fuck. Oh my god.
This world needs to wake up, pay attention, and
get woke!
Get out of the Dark Ages.
Says the guy who looks like a fucking ghoul wizard from the Dark Ages.
Another huge misunderstanding.
Get out of the Dark Ages, says the guy whose goth look is from like 2002 fucking Hot Topic Vampire Freaks bullshit. Jesus, get the fuck out of the Dark Ages yourself, and that's coming from me. Look at this. Get the fuck out of the Dark Ages. With your cancer research. Get the fuck out of the Dark Ages with your fucking sophisticated 5G communication technology. And your internet. And your horseless carriages. Get the fuck out of the Dark Ages. With your nuclear power plants. Get the fuck out of the Dark Ages in a video where you're talking about shit like quantum theory and string theory. Get the fuck out of here with this. Oh my god.
Is about classical mechanics. Classical mechanics is 100% false and has been replaced by quantum mechanics.
No, it hasn't!
This does not mean that classical mechanics isn't useful. Again,
how can it be wrong but be useful? The cognitive dissonance here is real, folks. It's fucking real. It's false, but it's useful. Well, then it's not false. Because if it was wrong, how could you use it? If it's broke, it can't be useful. I'm not gonna take all the tires off my goddamn truck and then try to drive it down the damn fucking street because the engine still works. That doesn't make any sense. Oh my god.
I'm using a camera right now that was created through the use of classical mechanics.
Then how the fuck is it wrong?
You can use classical mechanics to get a person on the moon. However, classical mechanics is only an approximation. For example,
Well, it's a pretty damn good approximation if it's able to send somebody all the way to the fucking moon, hundreds of thousands of fucking miles away from the Earth in nothing more than a tin can, traveling at 37,000 miles an hour, with a guy strapped into the goddamn thing, white-knuckling the whole ride for dear life while shitting into a garbage bag tied to an ass gasket attached to both cheeks the whole fucking way. If you're able to survive that fucking shit, I'd say that's one hell of an approximation! Damn!
the wave characteristics of everyday objects are not apparent because their high mass gives them an incredibly small de Broglie wavelength.
And this has to do with what? Nothing! I'm gonna... if I keep doing this, I'm gonna have to imitate Mugatu. You've done nothing! Don't worry. Don't worry. I'm fine. Despite my yelling, I'm fine.
At the scale of reality that classical mechanics is applicable to, the effects of quantum mechanics are negligible and you can effectively ignore them for practical purposes.
Oh, okay, so the quantum world, which pretty much drives the material world that we live in, because it's kind of the Wizard of Oz behind the curtain in that sense, can be ignored because you just want to will it to be ignored. The fuck? That is one hell of a logical leap and bound.
So in actuality, classical mechanics is only an approximation. It ignores...
Again, it can send a man to the moon, but it's an approximation, which is one hell of an approximation. What incredible luck and coincidence that shit functions on.
Quantum effects for practical purposes. Now, this will be said explicitly in the introduction of any halfway decent quantum mechanics textbook.
Cool, you should probably go buy one and fucking read it.
The fact that some people are objecting to our point here in comments and in videos...
Dude, the fucking people objecting to your shitty fucking points are people that work in the field of fucking physics, work in the field of mathematics, work in the field of science. You had a comment from somebody shitting all over your video who works at fucking CERN. The fucking place that runs the Large Hadron Collider. A fucking machine that's like 3 miles in circumference that does all of the kind of shit you are talking about. If anybody out there was more qualified than that son of a bitch to fucking talk about this kind of shit, I don't know who they'd be, to be fucking really honest with you. It's not, you know, not like he works doing what you're talking about every goddamn day. And please, people at CERN, do not open a portal to another dimension and let all kinds of hell beasts spill through. As far as I know, Doomguy hasn't been born yet. If you do open a portal, though, it'd be pretty cool if a Z fighter walked out. As long as it was, you know, like Vegeta or somebody. Frieza walks out, we're fucked. Just letting you know.
Shows that they have no understanding of physics.
Unless they're a physics who works in the fucking field. Look at that. The face when you step on a Lego. Oh! Oh god! I'm dead. This video killed me. Alright.
All they have to do is go to chapter 1 in any decent quantum mechanics book.
Okay, we'll pull out a decent quantum mechanics book and then pull up chapter 1 and then fucking read us a quote. Funny how you don't do that. Read a book on this. Okay, well, since you're talking about this all the time, it's safe to assume that you might have a book or two on the subject. So rather than just make the statement, do it! Pull us out a quantum physics textbook, go to chapter 1, and read us what it says. Probably says, thou shalt not read this if you shave off your eyebrows.
It's right there. But they've obviously never opened one.
Okay, unless you're talking about all the people in your fucking comments who go to college for this shit, work in the field of fucking engineering that deals with physics all the fucking time, but you're conveniently ignoring all those people because they're just trolls. Ah.
Classical mechanics was once considered to be true, but it's now
It sends a man to the moon and all of a sudden it's fake! Like, the...
known to be nothing but an approximation and has
One hell of an approximation.
been replaced by quantum mechanics. And soon a paradigm shift will occur, and the current interpretations of quantum mechanics will also be shown to be an approximation, and they will be replaced by the Hyperion system of ontological mathematics.
No, they won't. Because then you're just making a point that you concede at some point that your statements here will all be proven to be bullshit. If one thing can be proven in an approximation, and then something else can be proven in an approximation, you don't really actually believe that that stops at any point, do you? No, that just keeps going. The more and more that you intrinsically understand about how the universe works, the more you understand that this process of approximation can go on forever and ever and ever and ever and ever. Which would get to a point where people understand that everything you're saying with the tone of absolute superiority, certainty, and absolutism is going to be proven bullshit by your own metrics and your own logic. Holy shit.
Quantum mechanics has shattered the idea that reality is material.
No, it hasn't.
The world at large needs to catch up and understand this.
Okay.
Stop right now, look around you, and realize that this world is not material.
Feels pretty material to me. Pretty damn material. Ow! Fuck you for making me do that!
Nothing is what it seems.
And eyebrows are a thing of the past.
And this directly impacts your life, because if you look...
Not really. I actually don't really think about this shit all that much, and it doesn't really have much of an impact on my life. Until I watch one of these videos. But then I get back to my normal schedule of doing much more constructive things and losing my shit over some stupid faggot on the internet, and it goes back to not really having an impact on my life. Because I just don't fucking give a shit for the most part about these things. Except for now. Because you're filling people's heads with bullshit. We have an education system in this country that has utterly failed the absolute majority of people that is sought to educate. And then we have dipshits like you who don't understand a fucking thing about anything they say in their videos, but speak with a tone of absolutist certainty, filling people who are already getting a fucking pretty bad education as it is, heads with more bullshit. Fuck! This world is fucked! This fucking world is fucked! And that's sad as shit. God, is that depressing how fucked our future is. So many bright minds out there, they just go the fuck to waste. As they find themselves in the trappings of this shit. Bad enough that the majority of kids are getting put into fucking jobs they're unqualified for these days by getting put in fast-track private fucking colleges that give them the minimal education that they can ever get and throw them into a fucking job field that they don't even have any idea of what the fuck to do in. Having been swaddled and coddled by their parents their whole fucking lives. And then they wonder why their kids can never hold down a job. God! And people wonder why I'm a cynic.
If you pay attention, you can understand what this reality truly is. Quantum mechanics
Open my eyes, freakazoid.
brought with it a variety of previously unknown effects, such as the quantization of energy, wave-particle duality, and quantum entanglement.
Okay, so does this make reality wrong? Does it make it immaterial? No, it shows us how these functions work together to make things that are made of matter exist. And the way that they do. God damn.
Quantum physicists have been unable to understand these phenomena because they can't think outside of the materialist worldview.
What the fuck do you think quantum physicists fucking do all day, you stupid fuck? What do you think? They sit there and just throw ideas at a chalkboard and hope something sticks like a turd and fucking all of a sudden there's their theory? If these people can't figure it out and you have, why are you just demeaned to an existence of fucking bitching about this shit on YouTube? Where's your lab? Where's your Nobel Prize for figuring it out? For cracking the code that they haven't? Where is it? I don't see one. It's almost like you just don't have all the answers. And you can't accept that. So you just state this shit out of complete certainty and superiority, even though you haven't proven a fucking shred of this. How come these people were able to discover this shit back in the 1800s? 1890s and shit. But with the advent of all this technology available to you, that you admit came out of classical mechanics, you can't prove a shred of a fucking thing you say about quantum mechanics. It's just funny to me. Funny as fuck how that works out. God!
Been conditioned to dogmatically believe.
Okay, so there's no conditioning elements in your videos with your tone of superiority. Okay, your tone of, I just know it to be true, and now I'm going to give you this advanced, superior knowledge that you have to accept as fucking true at face value. Okay, yeah, that's not conditioning people to believe something without evidence at all. And in your videos about society, there are no elements of conditioning in that shit either, where you tell kids to not trust their authority figures, their parents, their teachers, people in their community that fucking look out for them, their friends. Separating them from that shit ain't a conditioning method at all. Sure. And you're gonna talk about people being conditioned by something like science that's not interested or concerns itself in any fucking regard about conditioning people? Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up.
Quantum effects are incompatible with the materialist worldview. But since scientific
Your worldview is incompatible with other people's worldview, therefore they must be wrong and you must be right. That's called delusional. They give people medication for that sort of thing.
materialists refuse to think outside of their worldview, they cannot and will.
What is this guy doing? Is he trying to just blow out a fart or hold one in? This looks like Louis C.K. trying really hard to get rid of some enchiladas he didn't want.
Will never be able to account for these effects.
I just can't believe this bullshit! What is that image for real? Is that how you see other people who work in this stuff all day, who know what they're talking about? Is that how you view your detractors? What a childish way of looking at people.
Scientific materialism.
Oh, we're all wrong because we didn't believe the weird white-haired shaved Edgar Winter on the internet who can't prove a fucking thing of what he's saying. Oh, we'll rue him. Go fuck yourself.
Is great for making material advancements in the world. They can come up with medicines and iPhones and computer systems, and that's great.
Okay, so one science is right in certain regards, but it's also bullshit at the same time, but your science is absolutely correct and beyond everything else. It's fuck goddamn. Jesus.
Works very well in a practical sense. But
so then what's wrong with it? Like,
as long as it adopts a material ideology, it will never be able to answer what reality truly is.
Why would a pharmacist need to answer that question? You're talking about medicine and stuff like that. Well, why the fuck would people involved in medical fucking advancement, which deals with the material biology and anatomical nature of human beings, give a fuck about the nature of reality? If you're going to talk about things like medicine, it's grounded in things that are material. Human beings are made of material. Fuck, we're just carbon-based life forms after all.
Itself, precisely because reality is not material.
You're killing me, Smalls.
To to answer the big questions of existence, science doesn't have to do anything crazy. It doesn't.
Science doesn't concern itself with the kind of philosophy that you're fucking talking about. You're literally comparing apples and oranges at this point. You are. It's fucking like, Jesus Christ. What the hell's going on here? Man, this monitor has a really bad V-sync. Well, I guess this GPU does. Look at that shit. Oh, wait. Physics is fucking up. I guess he might have a point. Oh, wait. No, it's just my shitty fucking refresh rate.
Have to believe in the ludicrous concept of a creator god or miracle.
Oh, now we're on religion. Oh, nice. Okay, here we go. Because it all has to go back to... You know what's funny to me about this Hyperionism shit is I kind of really thought about this for a while. And it really just seems to me that all he's trying to make is the antithesis to Christianity that's grounded in mathematics. You know, he's got personal issues with Christianity, you know, so do I, but those are for my own fucking reasons. He's got his own. But rather than try to make something that's the antithesis of that system of thought, I just moved on with my life. I find it to be an insanely hypocritical and contradictory, dogmatic bunch of bullshit that was created 2,000 years ago. And was then instituted by many governances, if you could even call them that, the governing authorities that existed for people at the time, has nothing more to scare the fucking shit out of them with a fear of God to institute a rule of law. And unfortunately, we kept that around till the modern age to govern the way our society works in certain regards to this day. And I just, like I said, I didn't want to be a part of that. I didn't go out there and say, I'm going to create something like the Siskin I am, to push them to the right way of thinking, because I have all the answers. Because if I were to do that, then I'd be no different than the fucking idiots who create organized religion in the first place. You've got me sounding like Gilbert Gottfried.
Or any nonsense. All scientific materialism has to do is embrace a rationalist mathematical system.
Uh-huh. There's not much rationale in any of this. You're just saying, look at these pretty numbers. Their meaning is the universe itself. That says nothing. And the funny thing is, in the 7 minutes almost of this video, you've proven fucking nothing. This video is a bigger joke than your last video.
It'll be able to answer all the questions that quantum mechanics brought up.
Then fucking answer them!
To understand the fundamental nature of reality if it simply becomes scientific rationalism.
Oh, for God's sake, if you got any of these answers, dipshit, then why don't you put them in your fucking videos? Otherwise, you just look like a complete fuck who's just spouting a bunch of pretty-sounding shit that sounds like it's really rational, that sounds like it's really logical, but to anyone with even an inkling of an idea of what it is that you're talking about, and since I'm a science nerd, I have a little bit of that, it just sounds like a bunch of fucking horse shit. Science proves the things that it studies, that it experiments, or disproves them. Your system has done neither. Ever! Ever! Is he blowing us a kiss? This is gross. Like I said, every frame of this video is a fucking thumbnail. Good God. You know what? I'm going to leave that up so you can screenshot that for yourselves. That's a reaction image. When Grandma comes to give you a kiss.
Right now, scientific materialism simply treats mathematics as another kind of tool.
Well, why wouldn't it? Mathematics is kind of an important tool for many different types of science to prove or disprove their theories, because a lot of their equations are based in math. Assloads of physics models are based in math. You are going to seriously turn me one day into that teacher from the TV show Daria, where he freaks out, his eyeball pops out of his head really hard, because he's constantly under massive amounts of caffeine and anxiety-induced stress. You know, he's that one guy who always talks like that. It's not like he's one day gonna shut up his entire fucking skull! Maybe he's watched too many of your goddamn videos!
Whereas scientific rationalism understands that mathematics is not just some kind of tool, but that it's the real, necessary, fundamental nature of our reality.
Well, why are you the only person that spouts this? Really, why? Why does it only come from you? I don't hear this from anyone else. Just you. And to be honest, the guy that made a video supporting what you had to say in that video agreed with you, yes, but marginally. And he was talking more about philosophy than he was in exclusively math. So, it's not really a win for your camp. And I agreed with a lot of what he had to say. It's funny that things work out that way. But whatever.
Scientific rationalism discards the outdated idea of matter and replaces it with a mathematical system.
That's nice, but it doesn't change the fact that the universe is made of matter, so, you know what? What's your point? And if you're gonna fucking say all this shit, you need to prove it. Prove it, prove it, prove it, prove it, prove it, prove it, prove it. And you don't fucking do that in any one of these goddamn videos, and people need to realize that and stop throwing fucking money at this goddamn joke of a human being. I mean, goddammit, he makes fucking allusions in other videos to being a fucking alien. Your world is desperately in need of a new system. Oh, where are you from, Xenu? Come on. What is this shit? I have superior knowledge and a huge ego.
It sees past the illusory nature of the human senses and into the mathematical reality.
The illusory nature of the human senses. Yeah, okay, so my senses are giving me illusion whenever somebody fucking blasts a fart in my general direction and I go, ah, what the fuck, man? It smells like an anchovy's cunt in here. Or when I slip and fall on the pavement attempting to pretend I know how to skateboard and bust my ass, my senses are giving me an illusion when I reel in pain from hitting my head on the sidewalk. Uh-huh. Okay, my senses are giving me an illusion that everything around me that I see is really there. No wonder your system doesn't trust sense data. Because sense data is something that you can fucking prove. You fucking idiot. Don't trust your senses when trying to find your way out of a fucking windowless, black, dark room. Use your mind. You're a psychic. Oh my god!
That underpins existence. You don't have to believe that this reality exists. You can know it. It is deductively certain.
That is a divorce from reality that is damn fucking dangerous. And I mean damn fucking dangerous. Damn fucking dangerous. The moment you start accepting shit like that as fact is the moment you need to actually get a fucking therapist. Because that is not how the real world fucking works. This entire Hyperionist shit is religion in your eyes. You believing it with blind faith. And then you go out there and say that your system doesn't require people to have blind faith. In fact, rejects it. Are you fucking kidding me? The only way somebody would be able to accept something that fucking retarded, that ridiculous of a premise, is by accepting it with blind faith. Fuck this shit. Fuck it! This is the last thing that people need put into their damn heads. This confirms my impression that your system of thought is nothing more than a fucking self-created antithesis to Christianity. As the amazing atheist said, everything you're saying comes straight from the William Lane Craig playbook. And it does make a lot of sense. Now, why a fucking anti-religious mathematics nut can make the same types of argumentation as a fucking hardcore creationist. Everything you're saying is based upon an unfalsifiable hypothesis. So is everything a creationist says in argumentation like this. You just want to create an antithesis to creationist-based Christianity. Insanity. This is just in fucking sanity. Anyway.
and rationally provable by the principle of sufficient reason. This is not a material.
Don't start fucking that up now, because you've abused the principle of sufficient reason far too many fucking times in your videos, and god damn, that shit pisses me the fuck off when you do that shit. I actually had a timer, if you're wondering what the hell I was doing, set for this video so I could record it in a timely manner. Well, fuck that shit. We're going over the 45-minute fucking limit because I just turned that shit off. Also because there is an ass load more time left in this video. I don't think I've also killed enough of my brain cells yet. So while I watch the rest of this video, if you see me huff any gasoline, I need some assistance in killing brain cells because this isn't doing it. I'm kidding. I'm not going to fucking do that. I'm not going to do that. And don't you do that shit either. Jesus. Holy fuck, that's going to fucking fuck you up if you do that. Not worth it. You'll end up looking like this guy in like 5 minutes.
Reality. This is a mathematical reality. It is a living system of information. To put it another
Prove it!
way, this is a reality of mind. But mind isn't just some ill-defined word. What mind actually is
a word.
Is mathematical
It's a concept.
frequency. More specifically, sine and cosine waves.
Prove it.
These mathematical sine and cosines, which define mind...
Mark, you're gonna have to accept the fact that at some point you're actually gonna have to show some hard fucking evidence of this. You can't just make these fucking claims verbally and then expect people to believe it at face fucking value without seeing some real fucking evidence of this. It goes back to the blind faith thing. People are blindly accepting this shit is true. The way Christians blindly accept that there is a creator God that made everything in existence. That's fucking ridiculous. How you can reject religion and yet make, in the sense of mathematics, the same argument as it for how the nature of reality functions in effect. Without any goddamn substantive proof. Holy shit.
Underlie all of reality. The waves aren't made out of anything material.
So therefore, I don't have to actually show you any proof. Let me just extol this bullshit on you and you have to take it at face value. How convenient!
They are immaterial. They're pure relation. They're mind. But they are precisely and analytically defined mathematically.
Okay, well that's neat. So you don't have to prove they actually exist and we just have to accept it. That is so goddamn convenient. And if it weren't for that caveat, I guess really your argument wouldn't have any weight whatsoever. It doesn't anyway, but I'm just throwing that out there.
In fact, the governing equation for these sinusoidal waves is Euler's formula.
Oh God, here we are back to this. This man is rolling in his grave so hard that he's turned into a drill bit that's tunneling to the center of the earth.
The mind equation. And this...
Oh, I thought it was the soul equation. Now it's the mind equation. I guess you thought the first one sounded too fucking stupid, so now you've got to redact that bullshit and call it the mind equation? Ah, neat. I liked it better when it was the soul equation. That would make a great name for a gent or progressive metal band. In fact, somebody's probably already stolen it. Damn it. And they probably already stolen the mind equation, too. Fuck! Well, whatever.
One equation can account for everything in existence. In scientific...
Then prove how it does. Don't just say it. Do the work and show us. Instead of doing the work in a way that says that all of this shit is completely immaterial and can't be shown to us materially or kinetically or in any way, shape, or form that we can actually comprehend with our senses, because don't trust your sense data, yo! It's like you're just spewing bullshit. Your mouth is the asshole of a sewer drain that's just... This bullshit. Now give me money. It sounded great, didn't it? No, fork it over so you can get the real shit. The real knowledge. My God. Why the hell did you have to become a magician, for fuck's sake? An illusionist? Because this kind of horseshit is going to eventually give people the impression that they're all fucking charlatans. Instead of people that just like doing magic tricks. God damn, look at this fucking freak. This is what the Prometheus aliens look like when they get old, people. Except they have no hair. And I can see exactly why Ridley Scott designed them not to have hair.
rationalism.
Oh, that'd be fucking funny as hell to see one take off his helmet in like a sequel, and he's just got this bitchin' fro, you know? Yeah, poof. It's just like, okay, that one is visited the Earth back in the '60s.
Reality is composed of nothing but sine and cosine waves, all governed by Euler's formula.
Okay, so fucking pulse waves don't exist, you know, triangle waves, square waves don't exist. It's just sine waves. You have no idea what in the fuck you are talking about.
And we'll show you how this gives rise to the existence that you're experiencing right now.
Great! It only took me 48 fucking minutes to get there!
But first, you have to know a little bit about Fourier mathematics.
Fuck!
Fourier mathematics shows that by combining nothing but sine and cosine waves,
even though those aren't the sole fucking waves that exist in the universe, I don't mean the soul as in human, but I mean as in singular. There are all kinds of fucking energy waves out there. There are square waves, triangle waves, pulse waves, saw waves. But you don't know what you're talking about. So you don't know how those work in relation to what you're talking about. Because then you'd have to understand a little bit about this shit and expand your fucking bullshit philosophy to include the... Look at this shit. God damn. It looks like wax lips, dude. Like those fake ones. God. Oh. Why did I have to be a nerd? Being a nerd hurts. Words hurt.
you can represent any physically realizable waveform. So, any physically realizable wave structure can be broken down into nothing but sines and cosines.
No shit, they have to start somewhere.
They're the building blocks of reality. So, for example, your body...
Oh, okay, so fucking carbon atoms and this entirety of quantum structure is not a building block of reality. So, DNA is not one of the building blocks of life itself. It's sine waves! Okay. Okay. Somebody was dropped on their head as a baby. And what are we looking at Dr. Manhattan now for?
Is a specific and unique combination of sine...
Hey guys, I'm in this video, got a cameo. I'm not getting paid for it, sadly.
sinusoidal waveforms. Now let's go a little further. A Fourier transform is a mathematical operation that transforms a function of space or time into pure frequency information.
So what? What does this have anything to do with anything that you're talking about? You are shitting out concepts of philosophy. You're shitting out concepts of fucking how religion is bullshit. Your concepts of fucking mathematics don't even get fucking proven by you whatsoever. So now what do these relationships between Fourier math and sine and cosine waves have to do with fucking anything? Nothing. There is no fucking intersecting between anything that you're talking about in any fucking way, shape, or form at all. And that's not because we don't get it. It's because there's none. You're just shitting out ideas left and right that have fucking literally nothing to do with one another, and then thinking that if you just mash them all together into one fucking nonsensical pile of horse shit, we're supposed to just get it. That kind of doesn't work when you're talking to people who understand, already know about all this shit, and understand more about it than you do. Stop it! Oh. People have a bad enough education about anything in this country as it is. They don't need a worse one.
And an inverse Fourier transform does the exact opposite. It takes pure frequency information and transforms it into a function of space or time. You can have all the information in existence, all of it, existing together in a single infinitesimal point of pure dimensionless frequency information.
Okay, so what am I supposed to do with that? And how do I fucking incorporate any of that bullshit into the neurological structure of my brain? That's neat sounding, but it doesn't do anything for me. It doesn't tell me anything. And there's no way a single being could understand the whole nature of reality because it is far too complex for any one thing to understand. Oh, God.
This is the singularity. It is the zeroth dimension. It's immaterial and unextended. It doesn't take up any space.
Thankfully, for my argument's sake, it doesn't exist in... Ave Maria. Look at that face. You know, it doesn't exist in a way that I have to be able to show you, so you just take it, just accept it. Oh, God. 3 minutes of this shit left. Oh, Jesus, this video is difficult to get through.
Information of reality is contained within a single point. It's a domain of pure mind, and it contains all the information in existence.
Prove it, because other than you're just stating this, there's no fucking evidence that any of this exists in any way, shape, or form, so you're gonna have to prove it. You can't just fucking sit there and fucking state this shit and then have no fucking proof for it in any way, shape, or form. Okay? That's not how science works. That's not how anything in any sort of actual provable metrics works. You're just saying things. People are not fucking combating what you're saying as harshly as I am in this video because we're refusing to get it. You're refusing to get that you're just saying words. There's no fucking provable truth to any of this shit. Especially considering that it's coming from an asswipe joker who can't fucking prove it himself. Oh, God.
Within itself. But remember that through Fourier mathematics, this frequency
I
information
thought it was Eulerian. Now it's Fourier. Fourier. By Menon.
can be
You're giving me a nice fucking flowery fucking vocabulary through these videos. I'll give you that much.
represented as a function of space or time. This means that this dimensionless frequency information that is contained within a single point has a space-time representation.
Neat. What does that do for me? Nothing.
So, this reality of space-time that you're experiencing right now is a Fourier space-time projection of pure frequency information. The domain of...
If you're talking about this in the sense that it exists in the zeroth dimension, then what the fuck does that have to do with anything in the dimension that we live in? We live in the third dimension. Everything around you exists in a three-dimensional material space. Not in a zeroth dimension. Because that's not what you're in. And based on string theory, based on quantum theory, based on a lot of the concepts put forth by the fucking people you include in your videos who knew a shitload more than you about these subjects, dimensions are stacked one on top of the other infinitely. Infinitely. And by that theory, by that fucking logic and those fucking metrics right there, is one of the reasons why it's impossible for us to just kind of peer the veil back and peek into what's going on into another dimension. You'd have to figure out how the fuck to rip through the fabric of the one that we're in. Something that not even your eyebrowless sorry ass has been able to do, I'm sure. If you got all these great ideas, show us the lab you've come up with them in. Show us the math that you've written down and actually proven this shit with. Oh, wait, you don't ever do that because I don't think you've actually done that. And you're afraid to do that because if you do, it'll show people what a fucking moron you are. Oh.
Space-time is a mathematical projection.
Well, that's neat. That's a projection. It looks like you've got an email here. You might want to read that. Oh, hey, it says you're a retard.
You can think of it being similar to a computer simulation, a dream, or a hologram.
Okay, but are you going to answer your email here?
You, as a mathematical function, are immersed in frequency information.
I'm a division sign.
But your physical senses perform an inverse Fourier transform, which converts the frequency information into its space-time representation, which allows you to experience the domain of space-time as you are right now.
Oh, okay, so everything that I'm seeing is just fake based on how my brain is personally translating all that math. That doesn't make any goddamn sense. And you want to know how that doesn't make any goddamn motherfucking sense? Drive around in traffic. If everyone was as solipsistic as you, and they were creating their own realities based on how their brain is personally downloading and translating that information right in front of their fucking eyes, then everybody in the fucking world would be doing everything completely at random, and this whole world would be a chaotic fucking disaster. Doesn't really make a lot of sense in context, does it? No, not really.
So the cup in front of you is not...
And this is funny as it is coming from the guy who in a previous video said the world functions like a video game. Are you fucking for real?
Made of hard bits of matter. It's pure mathematical frequency information that your physical senses convert into its space-time representation.
No hard bits of matter there, and only slightly concerned because I thought I'd punctured a hole in my monitor, which I didn't. No hard bits of matter. No, this isn't made of hard matter. You're killing me, Smalls. Oh my god, just a few more minutes left.
Through an inverse Fourier transform, and you experience...
I think I did an inverse Fourier transform once at a bank. You know, I think it was just a wire transfer that I had to do. It was an inverse Fourier transfer. What the fuck are we even talking about at this point? This video is a mess!
That transformed information as the cup in front of you. Now,
oh, that's neat. So you just now fucking realize that when your brain looks at something, or your eyes look at something, what you're seeing is information that's being downloaded from your eyes to your brain? Cool. That's how cameras fucking work. The intake, all the light, and what the fucking we're talking about old cameras, not digital. The transfer plate sees, and it impresses that image on to the fucking film. That's the most simplistic way to explain how it works, and I've probably gotten it wrong. That's the general idea. So then why is it that a taciturn, fake fucking camera sees the same thing our eyes do? How can we see if our eyes aren't real? Said the young black gentleman with more wrinkles in his forehead than an old man has in his balls. Seriously, what's up with Jaden Smith's forehead? That thing is wrinkly as fuck. Just... That's a horrifying image.
if this seems like a lot of information, that's okay.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like a lot of useful information. It just seems like a lot of bullshit that you've just spouted for 11 minutes.
System is vast and complex, but we're...
Thank you for making it vast and complex with no real conclusions of proof of shit.
Releasing the details video by video and in other material.
How about you just release some actual proof to any of this shit instead of just video after video after video of no proof and only conclusion? That isn't how science works.
There is nothing more important than understanding this information.
Yeah, there's actually a lot more, in my opinion, that's important in that. Masturbation would be a big one. Let's see. For me, recording music, that's always a big one. Doing something other than watching your stupid videos and driving myself insane with the amount of insipid, retarded, false information that's contained within them is a lot more important to me. Yet for nearly an hour, actually now over an hour, I see, I've sat here and taken this mental rape for your entertainment. There's so much better than this. You're never going to understand all of the fucking answers of reality. You're never going to understand all of the answers of the universe. You're never even going to understand more than maybe a just infinitesimal decimal to the nth degree percentage of them. And that's okay. Because in the scope of your entire physical life here, it's not going to fucking matter. And even if there is an afterlife, in your afterlife, it's not going to matter. So who gives a shit? Who fucking cares? Who gives a fuck? Really?
Because it shows that everything you've been told about the nature of existence is completely wrong.
Okay, that's nice. Why are you right? How do we know that you're not wrong, even though it's pretty fucking obvious? People, anytime somebody comes up to you and says they have all the answers for everything, run! the fuck away! Because that is a person trying to trip your head. They know they don't have all the answers. I mean, let's face gotcha, dummies. I got your fucking money. I don't have all the answers. I don't even have a percentage of them. But you think I do, and you keep that money rolling in. That's what you're buying into. You might as well sell Morgue brand snake oil on your fucking website at this goddamn point. You know, I used to really just accept passively the idea that this was only about selling your stupid books, your stupid t-shirts, whatever. But the amount of mind tripping that's in these videos, I mean, you have a clear agenda here. It seems to be based in subverting people's perception of reality to match your own due to your inability to cope with the nature of the world around you. You see yourself as an outcast, and instead of accepting that, the way I've done by being basically a loner the majority of my life, you seek to make everyone else around you like you. That's goddamn creepy, weird, and kind of fucking dangerous. And you need to stay the fuck away from people who do that. Because they are not out there to help you. They don't give a fuck about you. They don't give a fuck about your real perception of reality. They just want to fill your head with fucking shit and get money out of you. If you think this guy isn't about being a dogmatic asshole, I've been in contact with a couple of people recently, and I'm trying to finagle them to do an interview, who've expressed just how big of a dogmatic asshole this piece of shit is. He buys into his bullshit the way a fucking Christian buys into Christianity. And I don't mean a moderate Christian, just like a person who believes in Jesus and God and all that, and goes about their life not harming anybody. I mean one of those firebrand dick fucks who goes around with a fucking picket sign that says, "Go fuck yourself, fags," and shit like that. This guy's more firebrand for his bullshit than even a fucking goddamn hardcore Bible-thumping Baptist. Damn. And if you fall out of line with his shit, for a while, you're like an excommunicated Scientologist, from what I've been told. Damn. How moderate you are. This is totally not a religion that says it's not a religion. I wonder how long before he tries to appeal for tax-exempt status. I'm sure a guy named Tom Cruise can help you with that, with the aid of his buddy David Miscavige.
This means that you yourself are not what you think you are.
I know! I found out the other day that I'm a goddamn cauliflower. Funny, because, you know, the majority of my life I'd been identifying it as an attack helicopter. It's just weird how life works out that way.
The answer to existence is not impossible to know.
Also, and if anyone ever tells you that you're not yourself, and that you're lying to yourself thinking that you are, push them down a flight of stairs! Fuck anyone who says that to you. You are your own autonomous person. You're not what anyone tells you you are, because they think they know more about what you are than you do. You know who you are. Not this ugly fucking faggot. Not any of his ridiculous hardcore followers who can all go suck all of the world's fucks. You know who you are. And don't let anyone tell you otherwise.
Or even somewhere down the road. You can know it right now.
I walk a lonely road, straight down the road, not across the way. Ha 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 ha!
Now, there was so much more than what's been said in this video.
Oh, well, it's not like you had a time limit. Oh, good God. When you die, but she's still sucking. When you... something that these hoes who go after 90-year-old dudes who have money probably experience on the regular.
We are bringing this information to light now.
You, not we.
So that rational individuals of this world can come to know what existence is and what they are.
Oh, good God.
My name is Morgue. herald of the new Hyperion Age.
What? You're the what? Oh my God! You're the what? How could you fucking say something that self-absorbed with a straight face?
My name is Morg, herald of the new Hyperion Age. Ad Astra.
Somebody get him a crown and a cape and a scepter. I'm the herald. I'm a sage. I came to tell you all these bullshit truths of unprovability. Oh my God. Oh my God. Somebody get me a truss.
To the stars.
Oh God.
Make sure that you like and subscribe.
You're the herald of a new age who has to fucking peddle for views on YouTube. Are you fucking serious? You're the herald of a new age that has to e-beg for donations on Patreon. You pathetic, sorry, fucking shit excuse for a human being. Oh my God. Look at this smug fuck. No wonder they couldn't fucking stand you on fucking Freak Show. Watch episodes of that shit. And look at how uncomfortable after a few episodes everybody on that fucking show is with this prick. I used to think you were the cooler person out of that when I was younger. It's kind of sad. I used to think that was just an act. Alice Cooper's got his act. Marilyn Manson's got his act. Varg, well, actually, Varg is just Varg. But come on! You really live your life as a fucking edgelord. And that's coming from me. That's fucking sad. That's pathetic. That's embarrassing. I'm the herald of the new Hyperion Age. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I gotta keep those dollars running in. I'm the arbiter of absolute knowledge. Here to bring it to your world and make allusions to being an alien. And in some of the videos that you can get from me on Patreon, I talk about being a psychic channeler and shit. But I still need that greenback to survive. Fucking funny how it works like that. You know all these intrinsic truths of reality, but you still depend on the system created by human fucking beings to live in the world that we all agreed to live in. You're outside of it and inside of it at the same time. How delusional of you. Oh my God.
Check out my Patreon for hidden videos.
Mathematics
Oh my God.
was not invented.
What, are you rapping? Are you telling it how it is? What is this? Hidden videos. God damn, dude. Somebody seriously start putting these up. God damn it, he's so smart. He has to film fucking vertically. This way, not this way. You're not recording a video for World Star Hip Hop. You're supposed to be the sage of a new age. A soothsayer that brings us the truths hidden from the world. And you can't even fucking film your video sideways! Oh my God.
The particular symbols that we use, yeah, someone came up with the particular symbols. But the underlying mathematical nature of reality is not invented. It is discovered.
Even though mathematics in and of itself is well known to be an intrinsic expression of human beings' attempts to understand the world around them. Duh, the numbers existed before the symbols. But how the fuck else would we have expressed how to come up with these equations otherwise? Jesus, it's not like it's how our brains do shit. Fuck. Fuck!
always exists. It has always existed. It will always exist.
Good God, this guy looks like Fabio on meth. Seriously. Look at this fucking shithead.
The Pythagorean theorem.
If you enjoy my work,
Oh man, I really want to watch that shit. I don't enjoy your work because I think it's good. I enjoy your work because it's motherfucking hilarious. And I feel bad for all of these people. I feel bad for Susie Q. I feel bad for Ms. Murder. I feel bad for Demo Nick. I feel bad for Sydney Stalker. And I feel bad for Zach Goen for giving you fucking money for being this massively duped. People that could have done so much better with their lives than listening to a charlatan jackass!
then join us on Patreon. Your support is what allows us to move forward and to get this information out there. And I want to say thank you to everyone on Patreon. It's time this world gets a healthy dose of reason, and you're helping make that happen.
Yeah, by watching my videos. And if I ever create a Patreon, you can donate it too. Yeah, so send all of the money you're giving this fuckface my way. I could use a little bit of it so I can make better videos than screaming into a webcam on lighting that's put together by nothing but desk lamps! Anyway. Oh, there's some seconds left. Let's let it play. Oh, that was fucking goddamn special. Fucking goddamn special. Fucking goddamn special. Jesus Christ. What the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck? It's bad enough that every single frame of the video is a fucking thumbnail. It's even worse that people are throwing money at this shit thinking that it's fucking reality. No. You're just throwing all these ideas in together into one big stupid fucking mishmash of bullshit that doesn't have any coherency whatsoever. And then you're saying people who get offended by it because they know what they're talking about, don't know what they're talking about, and are just massively in denial. And that's not a way to fucking make people conform to a singular way of thinking at all, in the way that a religion does, by saying the detractors of the religion are all full of shit. Get the fuck out of here! Oh my god. Unfortunately, I know we haven't seen the end of this fuck. I had to get this out of my system. And I feel better for having done it. Because one thing that you guys should know is that when you see me getting all fucking raged like that, don't worry. Okay, don't worry. A lot of people think that I take this shit too personally. And guess what? I used to. Had many times in the past I taken this bullshit that people excrete onto the internet way too seriously. And it had a negative impact on my personal life because then I couldn't let go of it and I was a dick, just like you've seen me be for the last hour to people around me. But once you stop taking this shit too seriously and you realize that the real truth here is that this asshole is just out to make money in maybe a very obscure way, but ultimately out to just make money, there's not really too much seriousness to be deriven from this. One thing that just derides me so much, though, out of all of it is his tendency to not only put appeals to authority and conformity to a singular idea made out of his epistemologically based system of thought, is the fact that he's marketing it to a young generation of people. His demographic is mostly, and I can see this how he dresses his videos. I mean, for Miss Murder, for fuck's sake, that's an AFI song. Okay, it's a younger generation. A generation that had no real fucking direction at all. One that I'm partially part of. I was on the cusp of it coming in. You know, mine was on the way out. It was coming in. So they're only a few years younger than me. And in their current state, they're seeking answers. They're people that are smart. They want to understand these types of concepts he's talking about. It doesn't mean that he's right. It just means that they're being taken advantage of. When somebody comes to you and says that I understand all things and you really should listen to what I have to say because it's profound, and fuck that shit. Fuck that shit. The physicists that he quotes in his videos, the philosophers, the mathematicians, the fucking scientists that he quotes in his videos admit all over the place they don't have all the answers. So why is this no-name dipshit able to have all the answers above all these other people before him? The one guy who figured it out, who has no fucking acclaim to any of this shit. Nothing. No way of proving it. That's a method of critical thinking you kids need to employ. And his system goes hardcore in opposition to that. And I don't think that's right. I don't think it's right at all. I think that when you sheer people away from critical thinking, you're intentionally doing it because you want them to think only the way you think about an issue. Man, did I see that shit happen in a previous assload of videos that were on here, and I'm seeing the same thing happen. Not just in this guy's videos, there are other people on YouTube that do this too. And it's always for the same goddamn fucking reason. Critical thinking impeaches what they're trying to say. Because it allows you to think outside the box they're limiting even themselves to, that they don't want to accept the fact they're limiting themselves to. Once you think outside that fucking box, once you realize, well, this guy doesn't prove anything that he's saying. He has no proof for it. It's just accepted at face value. That's the moment when you realize that you have become your own person and you're now superior to dipshits like this. Again, I'll say it. Never, ever, never, if you watch The Sandlot, let somebody tell you who the fuck you are. That is something only you can know. That is only something you can figure out. Anyone that says that they can figure you out and know you better than you is trying to manipulate you. And they're an arrogant fucking asshole for doing it. No, that's not to say that, let's say, for example, you're making some really shitty life choices. You're falling in line with, like, a shitty crowd of people. Or you're getting into drugs, or you're getting into a gang. It's shit like that. Then somebody can step in and say, yeah, you're making some improper choices here. That's not you. You're better than that. That's a massive difference between somebody saying that and saying something along the lines of, you know what? I know what the ultimate you can be. I know what I know how you can be the strongest version of yourself there is. Nobody can know what that is. There's a massive difference between giving somebody some actually decent, friendly advice and somebody telling you that other shit. So whenever you hear that shit from somebody, fuck that shit. Fuck it. Stay the fuck away from it. Anyway, I may pop in again to do another one of these. I just don't know when. Those Tigers are playing tonight. I never miss a game because I'm Red Foreman in RoboCop. I'm kidding. But that would be fucking hilarious if that actor played Red Foreman in RoboCop. Well, I guess essentially he did, but he just, like, played a hard-living criminal version of him. It's fucking hilarious when you watch RoboCop and then you remember, oh yeah, that's the dad from that 70s show. Wow, no wonder he was such an asshole. He got killed by RoboCop. Spoiler alert. Well, of course, it's, you know, how you figured it would end anyway. But anyway, he didn't get melted by the toxic waste. That was something that horrified me as a child. Still weird and freaky as an adult. But anyway, I want to say my usual intro, but to be honest, I'm still on the fence about an outro. Because I'm some guy on the internet is not really something that really pleases me to say. Because I'm so much more than just some guy. I mean, it just always felt that was kind of limiting. Even when I was okay with using it, there's always that sting in the back of my head that, yeah, you're kind of just limiting yourself to just self-deprecating anonymity. And I'm trying to be conceited by saying that. It is true, you know. It's like, you know, you're just some person. What does your fucking opinion matter? And I guess in a certain regard, that is true. I am just one person out of an unfathomable billions of other human beings on this fucking planet. Someguy827 is just, it's not who Steve is. It's just a channel name. Almost like just an extension of the person, if you will. So that outro just really don't apply to me much anymore. I don't know. I guess this is the part where I ask you guys, maybe you could think of one, and maybe I'll use it if I like it the most. I did that before, and I've completely forgotten what the hell that one was because I've been away from this kind of shit for so long. But if you could do this, think of something that's kind of cool. It also shows me that you guys actually stay to the end of my fucking videos, even if they're an hour and 30 minutes long. And, yeah. Yeah. Anyway, until next time, take it easy.